Alright, hello internet, how are we doing today? Hope we're doing well. Inspirational music to come in on. Good feeling. Alright, yeah. Oh, ignore the giant mess behind me. It's nothing. It's everything in my office, actually. There's always more. Alright, E3, day 3. I'm gonna have to go get more coffee before this conference starts, but real quick, we have the Indie Game Showcase today at 3 p.m. That's scheduled for about 30 minutes, and then at 3:30 p.m. we got Freedom Games, and I might check that one out, see if it's any good. And then we gotta follow that up tonight at 5:30 p.m. with Capcom, and then Razor's after that, but Capcom's only scheduled for a half hour. We'll see if they've got anything interesting. In the middle there's Ven's Origin Stories with Hector Rodriguez. I don't know what that is, and frankly, I have some errands I need to run in that short period of time there. So we'll be taking a break at that point. But I don't really know anything about E3's Indie Showcase. We've seen a ton of indie games over the last 2 days anyways. And I imagine what we'll see is a quick overview of the indie games that we've already seen. Maybe we'll see some highlight reels, maybe we'll see some nice little montages, that kind of thing. Maybe we'll see gameplay or new trailers from some things. Or maybe we'll just see some interviews with game developers. I'm not quite sure. That seems to be what they're doing right now to fill up time on the official E3 channel. But yeah, I'll take a minute to talk about how impressed I was yesterday with the Xbox conference. It was consistent, high-quality games that, like, from start to finish, that conference was just a ride. It was the only conference that was an hour and a half long and didn't feel like it was 2 hours long, you know? The PC Gaming show yesterday, we watched that, and oh my god, that was awful. It was so boring, and what was the word I kept using yesterday for their acting and everything? Schmaltzy. It was very schmaltzy, which, again, that's something people that lean into, but it's one of those things also that Devolver just seems to have down, and everyone else that tries to do something similar just sort of misses the mark. As far as, like, scripted content goes for an E3 stage, at least, you know, I don't know. Everything for the PC Gaming show, it felt like they had an hour and a half to fill, and they had to try really, really hard to fill it. They showed a lot of games that were samey, that didn't really seem that interesting to start with. They're the kind of games you look at and you're like, there's going to be 3,000 people that play that game, and that's great, but no one else is ever going to care about it. And that's fine. I mean, it's cool that these niche games get shown off at E3, especially in such a big way. It's a great way for those games to maybe get exposure and, you know, push through that limit of their intended audience. But it's also something that I find, like, it was just incredibly boring. A lot of it was. The Square Enix showcase yesterday, unfortunately, was a lot of the same situations. They suffered mostly because we watched the DMCA free version, and so the music didn't line up well. They did replacement music for their first game they showed, which was Guardians of the Galaxy, which in my opinion they spent way too much time on. But a lot of that comes down to the fact that I don't know. They spent a lot of time. Guardians of the Galaxy looks like a fun game. It looks interesting and cool. The decision-making mechanics were really neat. The gameplay looked fun. The graphics looked beautiful. But it was just missing really hard yesterday. I think because licensed music is so deeply tied in with the identity of Guardians of the Galaxy now, after the Marvel movies, especially, that it's really weird to watch the DMCA free version and not have those like well-known music tracks tied in with them. So I had a lot of trouble with the Square Enix conference just because we watched the DMCA free version. I haven't gone back and watched through the content again regularly yet. I'm sure that will color my impressions completely differently. And a lot of these things hit differently on a second or third viewing anyways. I watched through the Microsoft conference, the Xbox and Bethesda conference yesterday again, and there were things that I picked up on I hadn't picked up on before. There were a lot of neat little things. Not least of all the fact that the VOD that was posted was in 4K 60, whereas the original stream was in 1080p 60. And that makes an enormous difference when you're talking about the graphic fidelity of, say, the new Forza Horizon game. That game, don't get me wrong, looked amazing in the 1080p 60 stream, but even YouTube does this thing where you watch a 4K 60 screen on a 1080p monitor and it looks significantly better because it doesn't suffer from the same like compression as it does at 1080p. So watching through it again at 4K 60, even on my 1080p monitor, it was fantastic. The graphics that are on display in that game, like it's one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. It's one of those things that, as far as I know, YouTube has the capability to stream in 4K 60. I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know why they didn't make that an option. And that was just like, that was the weirdest part of the Xbox conference for me. Going back to the Square Enix conference, where I just sort of like looped off of there. The Square Enix conference was just kind of boring. Especially because a lot of their announcements were missing music entirely in the DMCA free version. And again, I can go back and rewatch those, but some of the announcements, like the Final Fantasy Pixel Collection, the remakes of the original 6 games, that was just like a weird announcement. It's coming to Steam and mobile. There's no date for it. They're just like, hey, this is coming. And it's okay, cool. I'm guessing because it's the Pixel Collection or whatever, which you have to buy individually. They're not actually a collection of games. Which is stupid, by the way. But I'm guessing they're just like pixel by pixel remasters. They're not the like Final Fantasy III remake that came out for the DS or any of those versions. They're the original games as far as I understand it. Which is cool. I mean, it gives people a way to go back and play those games without having to track down a Nintendo and all that other stuff. But again, the fact that it's coming to Steam and mobile is just kind of weird. Like, I understand where they're coming from, I guess, because that mobile money is good money, and the Steam money is good money, but why would you not just put them out on consoles as well? That just seems very weird to me, personally. What else did they announce? They showed off the Final Fantasy Souls-like game. I can't even remember what it's called. Final Fantasy Origin? There it is. Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. That, like, I like anime. I'm a fucking weeb. I get it. But holy shit, the voice lines in that were ridiculous some of the times. They didn't match up with what was happening. Sorry about my mic. It was just a very strange presentation. The graphics were somewhat impressive, but not really. Like, they didn't look Final Fantasy tier, you know? The gameplay looked floaty. Like, it lacked impact. That's one of the things that the Dark Souls games nail, is like when you hit something, you can feel it. You get the impact. And that was one of the things that I tried to play. Oh, we always called it Anime Souls. The, shoot, what was it called? It came out like a couple years ago. You're gonna drive me nuts. Code Vein. That's what it was. So that came out, and my biggest problem with that, I didn't play a lot of it. I only played, I think, through the demo, but it was the fact that everything, it didn't feel like things had heft. It didn't feel like things had impact. It's one thing to make a character or a weapon feel heavy, but having that heaviness translate into impact is something that like really good devs can do. But it's difficult for most people, most devs to figure that out to make it work and function thoughtlessly, you know? It's like, how do I want to say it? It should feel natural in a game when you swing something heavy for it to feel like it has heavy impact. And some games just kind of miss out on that. Back in the 360, there was a game called The Saboteur, and like it's a cult classic game, but I always hated it because it does the thing where like your character walks like they're on ice, so their legs are moving and they're moving, but the movements don't line up. And that's the kind of stuff that just like you got to polish the shit out of your games in order to do that. So overall, Square Enix was not impressive to me. But the Indie Game Showcase is starting now. We're going to kill the music and go to that. And we're going to see what this is all about. Oops. Give me 1 second here. I accidentally had the wrong setup. There we go. Now we're set up correctly. Sorry, that was a little janky, but sometimes you just gotta do stuff. Missed the first game. It looked pretty neat. Lots of flying around. Alright, I'm not quite burnt out today, so I'm down for more space games, I guess. That was the other thing. By the PC Game Showcase, I was so burnt out yesterday that it was just not happening for me. This doesn't really appeal to me, but this seems like a lot of micromanagement. Building space stations, building ships, exploring the universe. Exploring the solar system, at least. Oh, okay. They really got their money's worth with their timing there, showing off 3 games.
Been a long time, Michael. I heard you were back in town.
Was that Rodon from Bayonetta?
I remember sending you an invitation. I'd kill you myself, but where's the fun in that? No, Michael. I'm gonna roll out the red carpet for you.
Oh, dude. There we go. I was talking about that feeling of impact, and this has it. It's that little screen shake. It's that, you know... Ooh, damn, blew that guy's head off. Do that Chuck Norris roundhouse kick. Alright, this game looks sweet. I'm an FPS guy from the, you know, from the ground up, but...
Good luck.
So this looks pretty cool. Ballin' aces. I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that. That one's pretty cool. I like it. DoomNoir.com. No.
All right, Captain. I got the intel.
Good. Now take it to the uplink.
This looks like an Overwatch clone?
Target is marked.
Oh, thanks. Ciao. So, remind me, what's the deal with this intel?
I guess I'll kill you now.
The drone is down.
The drone is mine.
The gunplay looks weird in this, like an old, like, you know, what's the series, like GoldenEye or Perfect Dark or
Execute protection mode.
All right, I'll download the data. Now, you know what to do.
Toretta! Soldiers, we need you here. Keep your wig on pet. I'm all over it.
Obi, say something? Apparently Obi's here, but we're having technical problems and I can't hear him. So let me...
So, what we're gonna do with the intel?
We need it for the job. You know, the heist, larceny.
Larceny. More like...
That game looks bad. That is Battleborn 2.0 right there, baby. I think I know what the problem is. Obi?
Yes.
There you are. Hello, friend.
What did you do?
My audio was messed up. That's my bad. Sorry.
Anyway, the first game looked interesting. It looked really chill, that paper plane thing.
Uh-huh.
The one after that, the Aces High or whatever, I can't remember what it was called already.
Oh yeah, that first-person shooter. Or
Yeah,
first-person.
the one from
beat 'em up?
Doom Noir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That looked really good.
I'm into that one. Oh man.
This is a new Army Man game.
Oh no, they had some sweet tanks though.
I could definitely see you playing this.
I could probably put time into this, yeah. Is it a tower? Nipple guns. Is it tower defense? What is this?
I'm not sure.
Is this Toy Soldiers?
That's what I'm thinking, like Toy Soldier Army Man.
Yeah, Toy Soldiers. That's what it is. So that's an older game too. They just remastered.
It might be worth picking up.
Some beast is looking at us. Whoa, would you look at that? Mars is one heck of a planet. So green and beautiful. Let's just be careful, sir.
I do like the art style on it.
On this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's me though, you know. Everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna fault you for it. It's just one of those things that I'm like. There's this kind of animation that this has, where it looks like it's all made out of like paper cutouts or something. It drives me
don't get me wrong,
nuts.
don't get me wrong, it's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. And like, with the what style of gameplay it looks like they're going for,
Yeah.
I think it kind of suits it.
Moolander. It's coming out on basically everything. Good for
Game
them.
developers are creative, passionate, and driven. We tackle new technologies.
Out of
and
curiosity,
overcome
what
many
stream are you watching?
challenges in
I'm watching the
pursuit
official
of our
E3
creative
stream.
vision. At
Oh,
the
that's why my
IGDA,
audio's
it
behind.
is our
I'm
mission
on
to support
Game-
and empower
GameSpot.
all game
Yeah, they're
developers
just
around the
rebroadcasting it as
world.
well.
We provide community, mentorship, research,
I gotta-
knowledge,
give me a second
and
here.
best practices. We're here for you when you need it, so you can advance your career while keeping your health. Join us and help make
Unless
our
you're
industry a better place
GameSpot
for
and
all of
IGN.
us, now and in the future. Help make a difference and join the IGDA.
one
Join
is
the
it?
union, folks. What's up?
All I'm seeing is GameSpot and IGN.
Go to YouTube and search E3 channel. Yeah, with all the E3 coverage, it's actually surprisingly hard to find the actual E3 channel.
Yeah, 'cause like I said, I saw 17 billion for GameSpot and IGN.
You got it now?
Yeah, I got it.
It's really funny that, like, the official E3 channel actually has, like, very, very low numbers of subscribers and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the one I was on had 15,000.
Yeah, and there's only 7,000 people watching this one, the actual original stream.
Well, that's fine, because the chat in the other one was extremely homophobic.
Oh, there's a shocker.
Yeah, I know, surprise, surprise.
It's the Stalker interface. With a twin stick shooter.
Didn't they just announce a new STALKER?
They did, and it looks really good. That interface for management, your like inventory management, is very reminiscent of the classic STALKER.
Never
Hey,
played
look,
it.
it takes place in Russia. It's almost, or I mean, at least old Soviet states. It's almost like it's a direct homage. Or if you're more cynical, a ripoff.
Oh, you know, same difference.
Pretty much. Tunguska.
This looks like it'd be a Flash game. Up until they switched the view.
Yes. Nico Ghost Jump. Wishlist now on Steam.
I mean, I can't say much about it. Like, it doesn't look bad. It looks like something I would have had when I was a kid.
Yeah, pretty much.
was just running around.
Yeah. Was that it?
You
Okay, that was it.
That music got me hyped, huh? I was like, okay, I'm here for it.
Well, that looked like some super not that interesting games. You know what? Still better than the Square Enix conference yesterday, though. I'll put that out there.
The only one I would get, honestly, would be the very first one, the airplane flying one, only because it looked very chill. Like, it's something that I would play if I had like a really bad day working and just came home and just wanted to punch something. Play that and just kind of wind down, you know?
What is that, doomnoir.com or something?
No,
Noir
the
Doom?
airplane flying one.
Oh, okay, yeah, I missed that one because I was too
Airplane, I
busy
should have said.
trying to get things working. Yeah. I did catch the end of that one and a little bit of it, like...
Like I said, like I know I'm repeating myself, but it's like it just looked very chill. I don't know any other way to describe it.
Do you know what it was called?
Shit, no.
Well...
I mean, it could have been called Pillow Pants. Like, I don't remember at this point. My memory is shot.
Yeah, fair enough. The Fallen Aces was the one that stood out to me there. The one where you're a mobster and you gotta like punch, kick, stab,
one-
shoot.
It looked very different in a good way.
Yeah. It's vaguely reminiscent of like a boomer shooter, but at the same time, like it's got its own, like, the enemies are all 2D and stuff, you know?
Hi,
So-
Fu.
Hi, what's up?
Hi, Foo. Indie Game Showcase is over.
I heard. I also assume I didn't miss much.
There were a couple real gems in there, actually,
Okay.
that I hadn't heard of before. There was one that we can't remember the name of where you fly as, like, a paper plane.
Okay.
Seemed real cool. Obi's into that one, and I'm into this one called Fallen Aces. It's a first-person, like, beat-em-up shooter stabber where you're a gangster and you're, I don't know,
Neat.
shooting and stabbing and punching
So what you're
stuff.
saying is it was better than the PC gaming show.
Oh, it was significantly better than that. I'd say it was better than Square Enix, honestly.
Well, that's not a real high bar there either. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Cypher spent about 10 minutes shitting on Square Enix when I first jumped in.
well, that's fine because they deserve it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see it, but
I like to think of it as a technical
Judging-
analysis as to the things they could have done better. But
Judging
sure.
from what I hear, it wasn't good.
Well,
I just don't understand like
no.
the incompleteness of it. They had one thing that they obviously edited completely for two different versions, the regular and the DMCA free.
yes.
And then absolutely nothing else got edited for that DMCA free version.
It was awful.
Yes. It was very bad. And so that was a lot of it was, again, I'd like to go back and watch through the trailers, but 20 minutes on Guardians of the Galaxy was a lot.
Yeah, like that was the only one I really saw because I was on lunch at the time, and it's like,
It just kept going.
Yeah.
like really, and it has the you told this yourself. It had the same problem that that Avengers game has. Is that they look enough alike that you know who they are,
Yes.
but fucking Drax looks like Uncle fucking Fester.
Well, what did I say through the whole thing? Hey, look, people, here's a game about a bunch of characters that you've come to know and love over the last 12 years, but they look nothing like the people you expect them to.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I understand wanting to do the callbacks to the comics. That makes sense to a certain extent, but that's
They
not
look
the...
like the comic characters.
But-
Especially with Guardians of the Galaxy, where the movie is 10 times bigger than the comics because nobody fucking knew Guardians of the Galaxy even existed before the movie.
Yeah.
Make it look like Dave Bautista.
And even at that, again, now they're going back. The new comics that are coming out, the characters are designed off the film
Yeah.
actors.
It's like,
Yeah.
I understand wanting to respect the source material, but at this point, 90% of the people know the source material as is the movies. You know,
Exactly. You only
That's-
know the comics if you're a nerd.
exactly.
If you go and read any new comic today, and you see Nick Fury, it's gonna be Sam Jackson in the comic.
Okay, well, to
There
be
you go.
fair, Nick Fury is based on Sam Jackson anyway.
Nick Fury was originally a white man.
The new one, when they brought him back.
Yeah.
because he disappeared for like 40 years or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, when they started, long before they thought movies were going to be a thing, when they started writing the Avengers thing with Nick Fury in the books, they based Nick Fury's likeness on Sam Jackson's character from Triple X.
It's just like I didn't mind the fact that they gave Rocket a beard. It was stupid, but
I love
could've-
that though. I love
I
it's like,
could've
well, how do
ignored
we make the raccoon not look like a raccoon?
I could've- I could have ignored that Peter Quill looked nothing like Chris Pratt. But the fact that they made Drax look like Uncle Fester off the Addams Family just pissed me off.
Peter Quill doesn't only not look like Chris Pratt, he just looks like a Pratt. That's 100% the only way I can describe his look too.
Yeah.
Like Chris Pratt's like third cousin.
No, like a Pratt, like the British version of it, like, you know, a word I can't say.
I'm Googling it because I've never heard that.
You've never heard that expression?
No, but Google will tell me.
What
Yes.
a prat.
He's such a Pratt, always coming up in here and
Being a nuisance. That's basically what it is, a nuisance.
a person that chatters or utters childishly or foolishly. British slang derived from the word prattle. Don't be such a prat, but then it's also kind of morphed in more modern usage to be a very specific look to a person. They don't have to be annoying, they just have to look like they'd be annoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Google.
It's now synonym for douchebag, dickwad, tosser, wanker, twat,
Wanka.
bunch of other words I can't say.
Anyway, Forza Horizon 5 looks great.
I missed it, but it's Forza. I think we know what we're expecting there.
Oh, dude, seriously, go look at the trailer. And even if you have
Not
a
saying I'm not
1080p
into it,
monitor,
but yeah.
like set it to 4K 60 because it is gorgeous. It is the prettiest fucking thing I've ever watched. Love it.
So yeah, I was up, well, not early, but I was up in time to see the start of things, and I was curious as to what Verizon had to offer.
You mean Horizon 5, by the way?
No, Verizon.
Oh, I was talking to Cyple there too, though.
Oh, no, I thought I said 5.
Oh, okay.
And did you know that Verizon has 5G? Because that was their whole fucking show.
Sure.
That took 45 fucking minutes to say, hey, we have 5G and it's good for gaming. Come join us.
Yep,
So
that's
they can piss off.
that's why I'm skipping Razer tonight because it's just gonna be them shilling their products. Don't get me wrong, that's all of these conferences are, but I don't care about
100% what
Razer's
this is,
products.
but yeah.
Like Capcom, I'm interested to see if they'll talk about anything interesting. I have Freedom Games brought up because it'll start in 8 minutes, but we'll see what they have. And if they don't have anything interesting, then fuck it. I'll just dip out because I gotta go and do some errands. So I'll be back at 5:30 for Capcom, but
I got up early to accomplish things this morning, and nobody else did the same, apparently.
that's a major ouchie, bro.
Yep, my
Well,
bank's still
I mean-
pissing around on the loan application. The dude that I was trying to buy the truck off of took till damn near noon to answer me. Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Speaking of banks.
The new Intellivision console looks interesting, but it's gonna fail miserably.
Oh yeah?
If you're not, dude, if it's not Xbox or PlayStation, it really doesn't count anymore.
Nintendo.
Nintendo's just its own thing.
Well, that's true. They're a toy. They're not a.
Exactly.
That's the way they see themselves too. They see themselves as toy manufacturers, which isn't wrong. And it's a toy that I love to play with. The Switch is fucking amazing. I'm super interested
very
to find out tomorrow if they're going to announce the Switch Pro. But
Exactly.
I'm also
But it's-
more interested to see if they're going to announce any more amazing games. But like if I look at the games library on the Nintendo Switch of like just the pure 9 and 10 out of 10 games, there's like over 24. There's so many amazing games on the Switch right now.
Over 24?
Yeah. I mean compare that to how many 9 and 10 out of 10 games
Oh,
there
I thought
are
you were
on
saying-
Xbox or PlayStation. Like
That was such an awkward way to say that. I thought you were just saying there were 24 games.
oh no,
period.
I mean like amazing games. 10 out of
Oh.
10 games. Like
Okay.
and
Well,
there's
yes, but at the same time, they're also rated on a different scale. Because again, it's Nintendo. They stand alone in a category.
I mean, to an extent, but at the same time, like, there's just so many good games on the Switch, and there's amazing game. There's so many good games on the Xbox and so many good games on PlayStation as well. It's just like, it's like the percentage of their catalog is, I guess, what I'm driving towards. There's like a higher percentage of good games on the Switch. Then again, I'm thinking in my mind about physical release games and not about their digital marketplace, because Nintendo's digital marketplace is riddled with trash. So
Yeah. So
it evens back
there
down,
you
I
go.
guess. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's also just kind of who I am, that there's so many Nintendo games that I love to play. Super Mario Odyssey is one of the best games I've ever played. Breath of the Wild is one of the best games I've ever played. Like, they stand in the top 10 games of my life.
But that's fantastic for you,
Yeah.
edging towards the boomer attitude. It is not what the children want to play these days.
Oh yeah, it is. It's always about what the kids want. That's why Fortnite's the most popular game on planet
In
Earth.
Fortnite, sure.
Yeah.
Mario, not so much. Link, Zelda, rather. It's not Call of Duty. It's not Battlefield. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that everything has to be, but I think that's what puts Xbox and PlayStation into the big boy tier leagues and leaves Nintendo feeling less like a game console and more like a toy.
To an extent, yes. At the same time, like, if you line Mario up with the main character that you played as in the last Call of Duty game, everyone's gonna know who Mario is. So it's funny because yes,
That's true.
Nintendo sees themselves as a toy company, and they are. But it's also the fact that they're so deeply tied to video games as a concept. It's just that video games has moved beyond what it used to be.
Well, that's
guess.
because, and that's, you're proving my point. What I'm getting at is they are going from an older viewpoint and older definition of what a video game is, which at the time, the only thing you could equate it to was a toy.
Yeah.
Now,
It's also that old school
we've moved
mindset.
into a full-on multimedia experience.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different thing. Game is its own thing. You know, it's not crazy anymore for somebody to want to grow up to play video games.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
unlikely, but it's not crazy. That's the point that I'm making, is the other ones have evolved with. Nintendo has kept, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing by all means, they have kept that original outlook,
Yeah,
or at
it's
least an earlier outlook.
It's the old school mentality of, here's a game, there might be DLC, but there probably won't be. Like, it's a complete packaged experience, put it in your system and play it.
Right.
Whereas everything else is microtransactions and season passes and DLC, like all of these things. And that's awesome. I love Nintendo for that.
Right.
I love
at the
Xbox
same
because I pay them a monthly fee and I get access to hundreds of games. And I love PlayStation because nobody can actually make a cinematic story-based game quite like PlayStation can. All three of these companies have different specialties in the market, and that's what makes them fantastic.
I understand that you're never going to get the next Call of Duty Shoot-A-Man on Nintendo.
Yeah,
but
you're never going to
don't
get the new
have
Mario game on Xbox. So
Well,
it's one of those things. Like
Right.
that's why everyone has their own like interests and tastes and things, and so you kind of have to lead with your gut when it comes to what you're going to buy, or you're just like me and you're an idiot and you buy everything. So
But at the same time, look at the way that everything was shifted in the E3 conferences over the last few years. It's no wonder that Nintendo was one of the first ones to say, you know what, we're going to do our own thing.
yeah, and I mean they've
Because
always
they don't
sort
really
of done
fit in.
that. Like, they've always had a big presence at the show itself, but for the people at home like us, we don't get to see that. We get to see some pictures, maybe a little bit of video of people walking around and seeing the things they built out for the conference. But for the most part, we're just gonna see a Nintendo Direct anyways. I mean,
Right. And we maybe got a little bit of news,
yeah,
like a tiny, tiny little bit that was followed up. And no matter what the news was, the sentence in the article was followed up with, and Nintendo America says that we will have more information at their Nintendo whatever they call it, conference.
Nintendo
in
Direct, yeah.
Nintendo Direct in 3 weeks or whatever it is.
Well, no,
that's always
it's
the way it works.
yeah, and it's tomorrow is the thing because they do an E3 show. Like it's funny because Nintendo sort of pioneered the Nintendo Direct format in a certain way. Instead of coming into E3 and doing a press conference live, they pre-record it and they just post it live at the same time for everyone. What do you think Xbox did this year? It was the same thing. Granted, there's extenuating
This year's a
circumstances
little
with
different,
COVID.
too.
Yes, but by and large, Nintendo sort of pioneered this. PlayStation's followed it up now. They do every few months they put out what is it called? It's the same thing. It's basically a PlayStation Direct. Is it PlayStation All Access, I think?
Well, and let's not forget though, back in 2019, before the world went silent,
Yeah.
and we had no idea that any of this was coming at us, the news was, well, we don't know if there's going to be an E3 in 2020 because we don't really know how we're going to do this looking forward.
Yeah.
The conference has been on a path to change for years,
Yeah.
which is also, in my opinion, years past when they should have considered that.
Yeah, no, it's just funny to me that Nintendo went that way before, and now PlayStation hasn't been at E3 for 3 years now because
Nope.
they've decided they don't even need it, which is honestly unfortunate because it's nice to see the entire games industry come together at one time. Granted, we still have the Game Awards for that now because like the Game Awards is the only place I think I've ever seen where you had someone from Nintendo, someone from Sony, and someone from Microsoft all on the same stage and like all doing a presentation together. That was
pretty cool.
unprecedented when they did that. But it was also the thing that, like, at E3, we only see we don't even see probably a tenth of the important things that actually get talked about by the developers, by the publishers. There are so many deals that happen at E3. So many people from Microsoft talk to people at Sony, talk to people at Nintendo. Like, everybody, like, we as consumers generally see the competition because everyone's vying for our attention, but the truth is a lot of them are friends with each other. And they're all in the same industry. They have shit to talk about. You go to any trade show for anywhere, and companies that compete directly with each other, the employees will talk to each other, and they'll BS and like come up with new ideas. And it's like it's a breeding ground for new concepts and new ideas and new things to do. It's not just showing off.
Well,
it's
not
partially
to mention, there's a
showing
lot
off,
of stuff that they talk about, and it's something that you can't really explain the concept of. Sometimes you have to have a hands-on experience.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find the link. Donut Operator went to E3 2 years ago, 2019, 2018, one of the two. He wound up with Concred too. Anyway,
Of course.
he went in there and his whole video, the blog is taking you through, and he's like, all right, about to go into the Ubisoft booth. And then he comes back on, he said, all right, so the deal was we couldn't take pictures, we couldn't have video, they took my camera, they took my phone, but they put something so cool in my hands, I can't wait till you get to see it. Unfortunately, I can't talk about it. I signed an NDA. And that's the way it works. Is like everybody going in there signing an NDA.
And that's it.
What we're allowed to tell you is it's unlike something you've ever seen before. It's really badass, and I can't wait for it. And
that's one of the things that's really funny about like Greg Miller's hosting E3 this year, but he's still doing reactions to the streams in between. And it's so funny because he knows it all. Like he just can't say it because of the NDAs.
Yeah.
He knows what's happening the entire time. By the way, Freedom Games started like 3 minutes ago. I have it brought up. I just have it muted right now. So.
Do we care?
So far it looks like a bunch of interviews. It doesn't seem super interesting.
Are we on the main
Airborne
E3
Kingdom.
channel?
Yes, main E3 channel.
Sorry, I'm running raffle tickets, so I'm trying to get back into shit.
No, it's all right. I'm gonna unmute this now, but it looks like this is a game about building sky cities, which is kind of cool.
Capcom is live now.
DEFCON is?
Yeah, Capcom E3 2021 Showcase livestream.
That's probably not actually.
That's
That's not
probably like
supposed
the
to happen
pre-hype.
until 5:30 tonight for us.
Yes, it's a splash screen that says E3 panel, Capcom E3 panel starts in 1 hour, 56 minutes, 33 seconds.
Good, because I have to run to the next town over for something, so.
Good for you.
Koromon! It's definitely not Pokemon. Wow, it's literally Pokemon. I remember seeing like over 40 hours of gameplay and getting excited instead of like,
Yeah.
Obi, how does this make you feel?
This is Stardew Valley, right?
How are they not getting sued by Nintendo?
Right? Now, this is Koromon, which is definitely not Pokemon.
Like,
Sure.
they are absolutely. This is an absolutely copyright infringement.
Like, Temtem did the same thing, but...
It's not copyright, it's trademark, I would go with.
Either or, I don't know laws like you do. I'm just saying.
I would
This-
say
like,
this is a
they're-
derivative product.
I don't know. The graphics that I'm seeing are close enough to that of Stardew Valley with feel that you've got a solid case that it is confusing to consumers.
This is definitely more Pokemon, though. Like old
So
school
it's a
Pokemon.
mashup of the two. So basically what we have is 2 lawsuits on our hands here. Well, and we say that, but really it's a cease and desist.
It's coming to Switch, so apparently Nintendo doesn't give a shit.
Gone to a cat cafe, and it was such a surreal
Weird.
experience for me at the time. So we sat down and we prototyped Cat Cafe Manager. When you're petting a cat, I don't know what it is, like endorphins that are being released, like the good feeling that you get from that. We kind of wanted to put in the game. We live in a time that's
This dude
pretty
looks like
stressful
creepy.
and out of control in a lot of ways. So for us, it's very important that you sort of get.
Hey, she had a
feeling
Kanata figure on her
when you get
desk.
Introduced to the game, just making the Cat Cafe of your dreams.
This dude
Cat-
really looks like creepy.
The cat cafe of my dreams. A dog cafe.
Yes.
No, I'm not a dog person either. You know what are cool is the fact they have like owl cafes in Japan, where you can go and hang out with owls.
Owls freak me the fuck out. I don't fuck with birds.
I don't usually fuck with birds, but owls are cool.
I don't know, man.
What was the other one? They have like teacup pig cafes as well, where you can go and hang out with tiny pigs.
They also have separate cafes, which are point.
Well, I mean, hey. Thanks, Aaron Hansen.
There's no companies, right? There's no video game companies in Little Rock or the state of Arkansas. So we decided to just be the first.
What
The rescue is
what showcase is this?
Freedom Games.
taking on all the responsibilities that
Oh, literally, it's a dog shelter management game. Cool.
But this is also about raising awareness, right?
Oh, puppers.
There's diseases that can appear
Oh,
when
he's a
they're
dog.
dirty, and adopters only want the cutest puppies, and they don't want the old dogs. Essentially, I just want people to walk away with more knowledge about the things we're representing. We've gotten a lot of people that work in real shelters that are like, I'm glad that you're doing this, because a lot of people don't realize how hard the work is and how thankless it is. So 20% of every dollar that Little Rock Games makes from this game is going to be going to the Pet Finder Foundation. The game is about being hopeful that you can improve your community in
That's
some small
cool.
way.
Keanu.
I can't wait till Let's Game It Out gets a hold of this.
Yes. It is going to be amazing.
With game engines, I started games on the web, flash games and things like that. I always like the idea of really silly deaths, characters getting blown to bits in like a cartoony way. It's usually an area of frustration, but when you can see your character's head just flying off and blood's going everywhere, it's like you just got nothing but humor there.
Sure gonna feel bad in the morning.
I come up with the idea of having like a Ninja Warrior / Total Wipeout death competition. I was actually working 2 jobs at the same time as developing the game. I'd have all these fantastic ideas while I was there. You know, I'd be on the checkout just thinking about Slaughter League, and then by the time I get home, I'd just like, we ended up deciding that it would be best if I worked full time on the game. This game, it sounds corny, but it's changed my life in that way. Whereas no other game had before. It's just flipped my life to where I want it to be. So to finally be able to do this.
Format of this is kind of interesting, where you get to hear from the dev for a little while, and then
See a little bit of the game, yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Usually that kind of bothers me, but it's got a different feel when it comes to indie gamers or indie game developers.
Yeah, and I think these ones, they kind of have more of a personal than just the industrial, like, make a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whatever happened to that dude that made the fox walking simulator?
It came out. I think that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's ever like gone anywhere from there.
I don't know. I don't remember what the game is called.
The First Tree, says Google, because I typed in that stupid fox walking simulator and it popped up with The First Tree.
Well, it's ranked 7 out of 10.
You know, type of working away. I learned how to code for like a whole week. I just didn't leave my room, didn't eat, didn't.
It looks like that's his most recent game.
We're all 23. Two of us haven't even graduated college.
David
yet.
Wheel.
To be at E3
Yeah.
is pretty exciting.
Home is where one starts.
Whenever you need me.
Is apparently another game that he's made.
Yeah, apparently he
That was a long time ago.
has a teaching initiative where he teaches people to code games.
Well, that's cool. So he went a different direction with it, but that's pretty badass.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
You have failed your people. Oh, this is just Fire Emblem, but made by different people. Wow. This Freedom Games is mostly derivative of Nintendo games, and that's definitely obvious, but
This would make for a fine tale.
not necessarily a problem either.
He's pushing a service now too called DO Games, porting and publishing as a service for game devs. Release your game everywhere. No need to sacrifice your creative time, hire a large team, or fight for a big publishing deal. We keep costs low by giving you our automated porting tools to integrate, and then we'll manage everything else.
My own game. I was
Huh.
diagnosed with Asperger's autism as a child, and I basically kind of just told myself, no, there's no way I could be in management. But through therapy as a child and then continuing my own efforts, I overcame it. Now I'm doing my dream, doing something I thought I couldn't do. Through this process, I've really learned how valuable people are. There's 20 people on the team. I'm just one of them. And I'm hoping to convey some of that through the game's narrative.
Now
You
this looks
have
like
to have growth,
Stardew
and
Valley.
You have to have progress. So for us, with One Lonely Outpost, loneliness helps highlight the value of connection.
Yeah. But, and then, you know, with the number that there are, it is an argument to be had that that's just kind of a stylistic choice of the times.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's popular, but I don't see the appeal of farming simulators, because that's basically what the fuck this is.
Yeah. This one's also like outpost management in general, it looks like, which again, it's still kind of the same thing as Stardew Valley. But again, it's one of those things that's just kind of relaxing for people. There's relaxation in construction. You know, there's beauty in it.
I mean, to be fair, we literally grind out motorcycle club businesses and nightclubs in GTA for fun.
Fair enough. This animation style. I hate this.
Total Combat?
No, the animation style, where everybody is... It looks like everyone's made out of pieces of paper that have just kind of, like, joined together at the elbows and knees.
Oh, okay, yeah. It seems rushed.
It's not... It's a very non-fluid animation style. Sorry, go ahead, Obi.
This looks like an ad I would see before a fucking YouTube video.
Yeah, right?
Like Raid Shadow Legends, you know?
Yeah. This is bringing me back to Game Boy Advance games, honestly. Kind of got that feel, but a bit more high bit. But again, indie games.
Did I hear you say something about Raid Shadow Legends?
That's what it looked like.
Did you know that Raid Shadow Legends is the badass mobile game that changes everything? The game is crazy popular with almost 15 million downloads in the last 6 months alone. Raid is an
Success for us is
I muted Foo.
being able to continue to do this because we really
I will shit in your sink.
What we know and be the best at that.
Oh, he's done. I unmuted him.
Enjoy.
Alright, they actually look they had there was some pretty cool
Greg
games
Pass
there.
the hashtag nobody cares. You can even join my clan.
Oh my god, muted.
Passionate, diverse, different.
Alright, shut up, Greg. Shut up. Alright,
Is that the whole show?
that's all show. Yeah, it was just a little, like, indie developer. or
That's cool
publisher.
though. No, but seriously, back to that note, I am so fucking sick of the Raid Shadow Legends thing.
It's everywhere, dude.
Yeah,
Was it
it's-
JonTron's
it's
new
ev-
video that had Raid Shadow Legends as a sponsor again?
I didn't even see that.
Oh my god.
I just know they sponsor Demolition Ranch like once every other week.
Yeah, that makes sense. Capcom E3 2021 Showcase livestream.
Yes. Next up is Venge Origin Stories with Hector Rodriguez. I don't think I'm gonna watch that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't care about it. And frankly, I have errands to run. So, I gotta head out anyways.
I have like chores to do.
Yeah, I also have those. I gotta go check and see all my dishes, if my dishes are done yet. Empty that dishwasher, boys. Alright. Overall, though, I liked Freedom Games as a little mini conference. It was nice. The indie game showcase wasn't too bad. So, on it, like, maybe it's just because I'm not super tired now, like, and burnt out from all the game announcements today. But
And there wasn't too much in the way of space games, which is a change.
exactly,
Start with that.
is also very true. Yeah, overall, pretty good. I will be back at 5:30 to 5:15, 5:30 in that area for Capcom tonight because I want to see what they got. Again, it should only be another 15-minute conference. We'll see what they've got and then go from there.
There's going to be a new Marvel Capcom.
What's that?
There's going to be a new Marvel Capcom. I'm calling it now.
Dude,
I
as
mean,
long
it
as
could
they
be.
actually like look like something we recognize, fine.
Yeah. And then tomorrow's Nintendo. That's the big Nintendo day.
I'll be here for
Oh.
that.
All right.
Righty.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks everybody. Anybody got any closing thoughts for right now until we come back in an hour and a half?
Nope, that's it.
Did you know that Verizon has
All right, thanks everybody. Bye.